The image of Jesus Christ has always been a topic of great debate. For centuries, art, culture, and faith have contributed to creating representations that have influenced our perception of the face of Christ. Recently, Elon Musk claimed to have discovered the real image of Jesus, leaving the Christian world in a state of amazement. But is it really possible that all the images we know are wrong? If traditional representations are not accurate, who is the Jesus we know? Let's find out together. Before proceeding, I ask you all to subscribe and comment with your opinion, or simply with an amen. Let's get back to us. The controversy over the image of Jesus dates back many centuries. Warner Sallman is one of the most famous artists associated with the image of Christ. His most famous work, The Head of Christ, has become an icon for millions of Christians around the world. However, it is important to note that Sallman had no authentic descriptions or portraits of Jesus to rely on. When Sallman painted his Jesus in the 1940s, his primary goal was to convey a message of peace and comfort, not to provide a historically accurate representation. With flowing hair, pale skin, and serene eyes, Sallman's Jesus reflected more the Western culture of his time than Christ's true Middle Eastern roots. Despite this, his image spread quickly thanks to modern printing, finding its way into churches, schools, and homes. The impact of Sallman's work came not from its historical accuracy, but from its ability to connect emotionally with people. In the post-war years, when the world was plagued by economic hardship and conflict, the image of a kind and loving Jesus offered comfort. Churches used the image to bring their followers closer, making Jesus a more accessible and personal figure. However, historians have often pointed out that this image did not reflect the true appearance of Jesus, a Jewish man who lived in the Middle East more than 2,000 years ago. This has raised important questions. Is it right to perpetuate an image that does not accurately represent the cultural and historical context of Christ? Or is the importance rather in the message it conveys? Another iconic figure who influenced the perception of Jesus is that of actor Jim Caviezel, protagonist of the film The Passion of the Christ. Caviezel's intense and moving performance has left a deep impression on the hearts of many. The images in the film have become so powerful that for some, Caviezel has become the face of Christ. The film's raw realism and emotion have brought many people to feel even closer to the figure of Jesus. However, even in this case, Caviezel's physical characteristics, with pale skin and blue eyes, are far from historical reality. Despite this, the strength of the spiritual message conveyed through the film has led many churches to adopt these images as symbols of faith. If we step away from the artistic and cinematic representations, what do we really know about Jesus' appearance? Scholars agree that Jesus was a man of Jewish origin who lived in the region of Judea. His skin would have been dark, his hair short and curly, and his eyes probably brown. His average height, based on archaeological studies, would have been about 5 feet 6 inches, in line with the characteristics of men of his time. The Bible itself provides few details about Jesus' appearance. Isaiah 53:2 says that he had no comeliness or majesty that we should look at him, suggesting that his physical appearance was ordinary and not particularly notable. This aligns with the idea that Jesus was a humble man, whose strength lay in his words and actions rather than his appearance. In recent years, scientists have used advanced techniques to reconstruct what Middle Eastern men looked like 2,000 years ago. Based on skulls found in the region, experts have created three-dimensional models showing faces with rounded features, broad noses, and dark hair. These reconstructions offer a very different image than the one traditionally presented in the West. Images of Jesus have influenced not only religion, but also popular culture. Paintings, sculptures, films, and even advertising representations have helped create a nearly universal figure. However, each culture has adapted the image of Christ according to its own aesthetic canons and social values. In Africa, for example, there are representations of Jesus as a man with black skin, while in East Asia, Christ is sometimes depicted with Asian features. This process of enculturation reflects the desire to make Christ close and relevant to every community. Elon Musk's recent statement has reignited the debate over the image of Jesus. Musk, known for his revolutionary and sometimes controversial visions, has suggested that advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence could be used to more accurately identify the historical face of Jesus. While many are skeptical, Musk's idea highlights an interest in a more authentic and historically accurate representation. In an age where technologies are rewriting the boundaries of knowledge, it is not surprising that even an iconic figure like Jesus is being reconsidered through new lenses. However, it remains to be seen whether such initiatives can actually provide a more authentic image or whether they risk fueling further controversy. Ultimately, Jesus' appearance is less important than his message. Jesus changed the world not because of his appearance, but because of his compassion, wisdom, and sacrifice. His life and teachings have inspired billions of people, no matter how he was portrayed. As we continue to discuss the image of Jesus, it is essential to remember that every representation is a cultural and personal reflection. What matters is how these images help us connect with our faith and reflect on the values that Jesus embodied. Religious images have never been simple aesthetic representations. They are powerful symbols that convey profound meanings. An icon of Jesus is not just a portrait, but a window to the sacred, a means of contemplating divinity. This is especially evident in the Orthodox tradition, where icons are venerated as instruments of prayer. Even in Western traditions, images of Christ often serve as visual reminders of his presence and love. The idea that traditional representations of Jesus may be wrong need not be divisive, but rather an opportunity to explore the richness of his story and message. Whether it's Warner Sallman's painting, Jim Caviezel's face, or modern scientific reconstructions, what matters is the impact these images have on our hearts and our lives. Elon Musk opened a fascinating discussion that invites us to reflect on how history, art, and faith are intertwined. Now it is up to us to delve deeper, learn, and above all, continue to search for the true meaning of Jesus' message. In an increasingly interconnected and technologically advanced world, the search for the truth about figures like Christ is not only a historical journey, but also a spiritual exploration that speaks to the heart of humanity.